Good day, tennis mates. It is time for the first Grand Slam of the year, the Australian Open. How well do you think you know the tournament? Here is a quick quiz to test your knowledge. Comment down below with your score out of 10. Good luck. Question 1. In which city is the Australian Open held? A. Sydney. B. Melbourne. C. Brisbane. D. Perth. We are starting you off with an easy one. B. Melbourne. Question 2. Who holds the record for the most women's singles titles at the Australian Open? A. Serena Williams. B. Steffi Graf. C. Martina Navratilova. D. Margaret Court. D. Margaret Court holds 11 titles, 7 in the amateur era and 4 in the open era. Serena Williams holds 7 singles titles. Question 3. In what year did the Australian Open move from being held in December to January? A. 1972. B. 1987. C. 1992. D. 2001. B. In 1986, there was no Australian Open since the tournament moved from December that year to January 1987. Question 4. Who won the men's singles title at the Australian Open in 2020? A. Rafael Nadal. B. Novak Djokovic. C. Roger Federer. D. Dominic Thiem. B. In the 2020 final, Novak Djokovic beat Dominic Thiem in a 5-set thriller. Question 5. What is the name of the trophy awarded to the winners of the Australian Open men's singles? A. Norman Brooks Challenge Cup. B. Daphne Ackhurst Memorial Cup. C. Rod Laver Trophy. D. Roy Emerson Cup. A. The Norman Brooks Challenge Cup is named after the late Sir Norman Brooks, a former Australian tennis champion. Question 6. Who was the first Australian player to win the Australian Open men's singles in the Open era? A. Leighton Hewitt. B. Pat Rafter. C. Rod Laver. D. Ken Rosewall. The Open era in professional tennis started in 1968, and Rod Laver won the Australian Open in 1969. Question 7. What is the official ball used in the Australian Open? A. Wilson. B. Dunlop. C. Babolat. D. Head. The Australian Open switched from Wilson to Dunlop balls in 2019. Question 8. What is the seating capacity of the Rod Laver Arena, the main stadium at the Australian Open? A. 10,330. B. 15,612. C. 14,820. D. 21,200. C. Rod Laver Arena has a seating capacity of 14,820 spectators. Question 9. Who is known as the Rocket and won the Australian Open men's singles title 6 times? A. Rod Laver. B. Roy Emerson. C. Ken Rosewall. D. Pete Sampras. B. Roy Emerson won the Australian Open 6 times. He won it in 1961 and then 5 times in a row from 1963 to 1967. Question 10. Which country has produced the most Australian Open men's singles champions in the Open era? A. United States. B. Australia. C. Serbia. D. Switzerland. Players from the United States have won the Australian Open 14 times. In second place with 10 titles is Serbia, but they were all won by the same person. Do you know who that is? Do you think he'll win it again this year? Tell us your quiz score and prediction for this year's men's winner in the comments. Enjoy watching this year's Australian Open.